Alright, with the upcoming Cyrene, we are also getting a triple rerun banner for both the first half and the second half of the next patch. And though most of the units are great, there is one that, given the current roster of units, has become one of, if not the best pull for any account, and that is Hyacine. With the release of Cyrene and her immense value in general, a lot of players are wondering if they should pull for her, and a short answer to that is yes, you definitely should. As for the long answer, well, that's what this whole video is for. Here I'll first give you a quick TLDR of her kit, her builds, her best teams, and why she is worth it for you. In the end, I'll also talk about vertical investment, and if you should pull for her Eidolons or even her signature Lightcone, if you already have her. So leave a like if you find this video helpful, and let's get started. This video is sponsored by LD Shop, a safe and reliable game top-up site from the creators of one of the best emulators, LD Player. It offers affordable prices in most game items through official ways, like games such as Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact top-ups are purchased from Razer Gold, so you don't have to worry about getting banned. Something I can testify for myself, as I have been using it for my monthly supply passes. It also does not require any of your account information, just the user ID and server. You just hop into LD Shop, select your preferred game, select the pack, then type your UID and server, and then just click on top up, select your preferred payment option, and that's basically it. Within a moment, you get your jades. It's a fast and easy process with tons of positive reviews. And also, if you are someone who regularly spends on the game, there's a VIP system that rewards you with a free express supply pass if you spend over $80 a month. Also, if you use my link, you'll be getting free coupons for even more discounts. I know you'll be spending for your favorite character, so why not do yourself a favor and save some money? Just click on the link in the description or in the pinned comment and check out LD Shop. So, Hyacine, she's a Wind Remembrance unit. She can provide super consistent AoE, active and passive healing. What that means is that she can provide healing both on and off turn. She's also one of the best sub DPS to be paired with any and all teams that requires a sustain. For her base stats, her base HP and attack are very low compared to something like her defense, which is on the higher side. Her speed is 110 and she has a 140 energy cost ultimate. For her abilities, well, there are two main things in Hyacine's kit. First is the special state that Hyacine gets into with her ultimate, and the second is her Memo Sprite Ika. Let's start with the first one. When Hyacine has 140 energy and uses her ultimate, she summons her Memo Sprite Ika, provides healing to all allies, and enters the After Rain state for 3 turns. While in this state, all allies' HP is increased, which is pretty much a damage boost for any HP scaling DPS. Now for her Memo Sprite, Little Ika, similar to our upcoming unit Cyrene, Ika also has 0 speed and will not appear in the action order. Addition to that, when any ally's HP is reduced, Ika will consume their own HP and heal the unit with reduced HP after any ally takes action, meaning this heal is out of turn and triggers after any ally's action. Now since Ika's speed is 0, how does they take a turn? Well, this is tied to the After Rain state. When Hyacine is in that state and uses any ability, may it be on her own turn like a skill or out of turn like her ultimate, Little Ika will immediately get an extra turn and will use their Memo Sprite skill. Also, while in the After Rain state, Ika's automatic healing will now be AoE. As for the Memo Sprite skill, it's an AoE attack dealing wind damage to all enemies, but it doesn't scale with neither HP nor attack. Instead, this attack scales off the amount of healing that Ika and Hyacine has done to that point, and after this attack, 50% of that tally is cleared, so it doesn't scale off to infinity. But still, since it does not 100% clear the full tally, the longer the battle lasts, the higher the damage Ika will do. Given Ika's consistent AoE healing, combined with Hyacine's skill, which also summons Ika and provides AoE healing, the damage will be solid. But that's not all. Whenever Hyacine or Ika provides healing, it increases Ika's damage dealt by 80%, and this can stack up to 3 times. So a 240% damage boost for Ika's AoE attack. There are also a few other things that Ika does, like when Ika is summoned, it generates extra energy for Hyacine. Also, when Ika disappears, it gives 30% action advance to Hyacine. So basically more turns, resulting in more energy, as such more frequent ultimates, meaning you don't have to worry about keeping the After Rain state active. She also has some incredible passives. The first one gives her and Ika 100% crit rate, making her super easy to build, as you won't have to worry about quitting. It also increases both Ika and Hyacine's outgoing healing, when they heal a target with less than or equal to 50% HP, and more healing means more damage. Her second passive gives her 50% effect res, and when Hyacine uses either skill or ultimate, it cleanses one debuff from all allies. And lastly, the third passive increases both Hyacine and Ika's max HP by 20% if Hyacine is above 200 speed, and any excess speed after that will give extra outgoing healing, which is great, but 200 is the goal here. There is no need to go past that. Finally, her bonus stat gives 10% HP, 14 speed, which when combined with her 110 base speed really helps with the 200 speed goal, and 18% effect res, which adds up to 68% with the 50% from her second passive. This pretty much makes her immune to most if not all debuffs from any enemy among all the endgame modes. And that's everything that Hyacine does. She provides consistent healing with consistent AoE damage and consistent debuff cleanse with her high speed. Basically, she is one of, if not the most consistent and versatile unit in the game. And this simple kit of hers synergizes with pretty much most, if not all of the broken damage dealers in Honkai Star Rail. And I'll be discussing all of them later in the video. Now let's talk about how we can build her. For someone new who doesn't know about her stat requirements, if you already know, this can be a simple refresher. For Lightcones, given the lack of good remembrance Lightcones and also her specific stat requirements in general, there are only two Lightcones that you can use on her. First is of course her own signature. This provides 18% speed, good for her speed goal. It also inflicts 18% vulnerability to all the enemies for 2 turns, and most of all, when the wearer uses any ability, it consumes a bit of HP from all allies and deals additional damage to all the enemies. And this ability specifically does wonders for so many units. Like for a unit such as Evernight, an AoE HP consumption means more Memoria generation, and that will result in more damage. And there are other units that benefit from this as well, and not just for Hyacine. It's a solid Lightcone for any remembrance unit. With the extra speed and vulnerability, this Lightcone is just as versatile as Hyacine herself. For alternative, the only other option that you can use on her is going to be the free-to-play Herta Store Lightcone. This also provides 12% speed, which is not as much as 18% from her signature, so you need to look for extra speeds from her relics. The difference is around 6.6 speed, which is not that much since you have 5 pieces to get it from. This Lightcone also increases damage of all allies when the wearer uses their skill, which is also great for Hyacine, because in most teams she will be using her skill constantly, so the damage buff will stay active all the time. So overall, try to go for a signature Lightcone if you can, otherwise the Herta Store Lightcone is also perfectly fine for her. For her relics, her best set is going to be the Warrior Goddess set. It provides 6% speed and then 6% more speed when the wearer provides healing, which is pretty frequent for Hyacine. Addition to that, it also increases crit damage of all allies by 15%. This set is tailor-made for Hyacine, and there is nothing better than this. Now the main goal here for Hyacine is to first and foremost reach the 200 speed goal. If you don't have a proper 4-piece set that allows you to reach 200, then a 2-piece combo of any speed set would also do the job. But one thing I have seen many new players do wrong here is that they simply go for a 2-piece combo set because they get to see more speed on their builds because of the 12% speed that they get from a 2-piece combo. And with the Warrior Goddess set, they don't see 200 on their builds because the extra 6% speed is a passive and needs to be activated by healing an ally. So the one thing that you should know here is that what you need is effective speed. That means what speed Hyacine has while in the battle. So even if in the build section you can only reach like 195 speed with the Warrior Goddess set, while in battle she will get the extra 6%, and that will give you around 6.6 extra speed and will make Hyacine reach 200, and that will still activate the 20% HP boost from Hyacine's third passive. You don't always have to reach 200 in the builds. There are many relic sets that provide stat boost which only activate while in combat, and if those stat buffs help you reach stat goals, then it's perfectly fine. Some new players do make this mistake and think their builds are incomplete because they don't see the proper stats in the build screen, even though they get all the stats while in combat. Most players already know about this, but I have seen new players make this mistake. So if you are a new player, try to understand how the relic set works properly. Anyways, for planars, there is nothing better than the Giant Tree set. This too is a tailor-made set for Hyacine. It provides 6% speed and extra outgoing healing if the wearer is above 135 or 180 speed, which Hyacine will be given we want to build her at 200 speed. It's the best set by far for her. But if you haven't yet farmed this set, you can use either Loshaka or Penacony. Both are fine alternatives. For relic stats, here's a build for reference. It's pretty straightforward. Given Ika's damage scales of healing, a healing bonus body is ideal. If you don't have one, you can also use HP. As for the rest, use a speed boot, an HP orb, and an ERR row for her ultimate uptime. For stat goals, the first and foremost thing you should focus on is to reach that 200 speed goal. Here are two charts showing how much speed you need from just substats in order to reach 200. One is with her signature and one is with the Hyacine Lightcone. After you manage that, then just focus on getting HP, crit damage, and some effect res is also great. If you want to reach total immunity, you can try to get 50% effect res on her stats, and with the 50% from her second passive, she'll have 100%. As for the crit damage, you don't really need it, and she already gets a huge 240% damage boost from her talent. So if you have some in your relics, then it's great, but you don't need to look for crit damage in her build. For her rotations, there is nothing much here. The best thing for her ultimate uptime is going to be an all-skill rotation. With 3 skills and 3 Ika attacks with an ERR rope, it will give you around 131 energy. And with a few hits from the enemies, she will be able to reach 140 pretty easily. But since it's all skills, it will consume a lot of skill points. Luckily, the team she is best played in, like the Casterous teams, skill points is a non-issue, because the 2 main DPS units here do not consume any skill points. But what if the team is different? In such cases, depending on how skill point heavy the team is, you'll have to opt for either a skill basic skill rotation, which will make her SP neutral, or a skill basic rotation, which will make her SP positive. In both cases, you will most likely get a 4-turn ultimate, and since her after rain state only lasts 3 turns, there is a 1-turn downtime, which is completely fine. Now I have said that her whole kit revolves around her after rain state, and Ika taking turns to deal damage, but even if you face a bit of downtime, it's not the end of the world. Just think about it. What do you lose from a bit of downtime? The team-wide HP buff from her ultimate, and I guess a few AoE attacks from Ika. Now the HP buff is only useful for HP scaling teams like Casterous, Evernight, or I guess Blade. But these teams are very SP friendly. Here you can use skills all you want and easily get a 3-turn ultimate. And also, using skills constantly is actually better here, because more healing means more charge for Casterous' ultimate. As for other attack scaling teams, well, they don't benefit from the HP buff anyways, so it's a non-issue. As for Ika's attack, sure, more attacks means more team-wide damage, but do note that Ika's attack scales of healing, so even if it doesn't attack for a turn, the tally of healing will continue to increase. So in the end, when Ika does attack, the damage is much higher. Overall, facing a bit of downtime doesn't lower Hyacine's value. She is perfectly fine even when she is skill spamming or if she's using a skill basic rotation. It's her versatility that makes her so great, so just use the rotation that is perfect for the team she is being played on. By the way, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, as it does help this channel grow and motivates me to make more content for you guys. Now let's talk about her best synergies, and there are basically not a single unit that doesn't benefit from having Hyacine in their team, except for I guess Phynon, because in most cases he wants to be played sustainless. And for Anomaly Arbitration, he wants Danheng PT, who is free, so it's not like you're pulling for a unit and then one of your team is not compatible with them. In Phynon's case, the sustain he wants, you already have it in your account, and for every other team, Hyacine can be used. And this is even more apparent now because of Cyrene. As you already know, and I've also explained it in my previous videos, Cyrene has a terrible ramp up time, and Hyacine is by far the best unit to make that stupid ramp up time a bit easier to manage. Because of that, Hyacine has now become a part of every Chrysos Heir's best team, even the ones that previously wanted other sustains like Woohoo or Danheng PT. Just because Cyrene provides a noticeable upgrade from their older teams, and she really wants Hyacine with her for point generation, it made Hyacine even more important to have for any account, as long as you have a Chrysos Heir team, except for Phynon. And if you are planning to pull for Cyrene, then you need to have Hyacine. Now, need is a big word. You definitely don't need anything to play the game as you like, but if you are trying to build any of the current best teams in HSR, you should really consider getting Hyacine. Apart from Cyrene, there's also the OG team for whom Hyacine was released in the first place, and that is this whole Casterous team. And every single unit here benefits from Hyacine, given this whole team scales of HP, so her HP buff is like a damage boost for them. With her constant healing, Casterous gets a consistent source of new blood points for her ultimate, allowing more frequent ultimates from her. This is especially good now, as exploding her dragon instantly instead of holding out for 3 turns has become more meta. The newer bosses like Lygus really wants you to explode and then resummon your Memo Sprites, and Hyacine allows Casterous to do that. Another unit that was pretty much made for Lygus was Evernight. She constantly explodes and resummons her Memo Sprite Evie. She doesn't need healing for for her ultimate, but she does want Memoria points for more damage. And here as well, Hyacine is one of the best units for generating Memoria, especially if you have her signature Lightcone. Evernight gains Memoria when any ally Memo Sprite uses an ability, so a fast acting Memo Sprite like Ika can generate a ton. Also, if you have her signature Lightcone, Evernight also gains Memoria when she herself or her Memo Sprite Evi loses HP. So with Hyacine's Lightcone consuming ally HP, means both Evernight and Evi loses HP from that, and they gain Memoria. And E0 Hyacine with her signature is one of the best investment you can have for Evernight. For the last slot we have Tribi, and she synergizes so well with Hyacine that they both combined introduce a deadly combo called the Wheelchair Team, where their combined damage exceeded the main DPS for a lot of teams. Tribi is one of if not the best damage amplifier in HSR, and her buffs really bumps up Hyacine's damage. Not only that, Hyacine's constant AoE attack generates a ton of energy for Tribi, so she gets to use her ultimate a lot, meaning more follow-up attacks and more damage. The individual hits from them might not be super crazy, but how frequently they attack is what makes them so broken together. Now the upcoming Caster's team will have Cyrene in it, and Tribi will be replaced, but Hyacine is best in slot for Cyrene as well, so her value remains at the top even without Tribi. So, should you pull for Hyacine? Absolutely. Her value in a Caster's team is insane, and with the release of Cyrene, she has become just as important for other Crassus Air teams as she was for Caster's. The only place where I don't think she is needed is in a break team, but that archetype has fallen out of meta quite a bit, and given how the future looks for break, it seems no sustained teams are going to be the norm for that. But we can't be sure about something like that. At present, Hyacine is the most versatile unit in the game. Even if you put her with older units like Akron, the Herta or Feishao or even Blade, she is still one of the best sustained options for them. With her Lightcone, Hyacine can provide the vulnerability debuff that will generate ultimate points for Akron. Her constant AoE hits will be great for units like the Herta and Feishao who wants frequent attacks from their teammates. And of course, with the team-wide HP consumption with her Lightcone, it will generate follow-up attack stacks for Blade. It doesn't matter if it's the current version teams or the previous versions. Hyacine can fit into any of those teams and perform well. Except Phynon of course. She is definitely worth your jades, and you should pull for her if you don't have her in your account. Now let's talk about vertical investment. If you already have Hyacine, should you pull for a Lightcone or initial Eidolons like her E1 or E2? So I've already explained her signature, so let's check out her initial Eidolons. Her E1 gives all allies 50% HP boost when Hyacine is in the after rain state, and they all get healed after using an attack. This makes for a massive damage increase for HP scaling units, and that constant healing will increase Ika's damage. Her E2 gives any ally a 30% speed boost when their HP is decreased, and this is awesome for any team, because who doesn't like more speed? It helps you reach certain speed breakpoints. And with her E1, if any of your ally gets hit, their speed will increase, and they will be able to take the next turn faster. And when they use any ability, the whole team gets healed with her E1. This pretty much makes certain that your team is not dying ever. But also, if you have her signature Lightcone, which consumes all ally HP when Hyacine uses any ability, meaning the speed buff will now stay active all the time, resulting in a permanent 30% speed buff for the whole team. Also, more speed means more outgoing healing from her third passive. So what should you go for first? I'd say even though her Eidolons are great for any team and insanely good for any HP scaling team, her signature Lightcone outperforms any of her Eidolons. This Lightcone's ability to give speed and additional damage to the wearer, vulnerability to all the enemies, and consuming all allies HP, and the trigger condition is super versatile as well, since it triggers with any ability from the wearer. This is just as broken as Hyacine herself. You can even use this on other Remembrance units, and it will still work. Use it on Evernight or RMC or even Cyrene. In fact, it's one of Cyrene's best Lightcone options. This Lightcone is just as broken as Hyacine, and if you can pair these two together, you will have one of the most versatile character in Honkai Star Rail. So go for her Lightcone first if you are planning to vertically invest on your Hyacine. Overall, Hyacine is definitely one of the winners of version 3. Amongst all the units, even more so than Tribi, it seems Hyacine has become the most useful unit for any team, especially with the release of Cyrene. She's also the best point generator for Cyrene herself, and without her, Cyrene's initial ramp up time will be painful to get through. So if you are planning to go for Cyrene, I'd recommend pulling Hyacine first. Since Cyrene's banner will last the whole patch, you will have enough time to pull for her after you get Hyacine. And that's all for this updated review for Hyacine. Hopefully this answered any questions you had about her. If you still have something, you can leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. I intend to make such videos for all the rerun banners for patch 3.7, so look forward to those. Like and sub if you enjoy my content. Thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.